followed by the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. Institute for Human Rights, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. The right to freedom of movement is a fundamental human right enshrined in numerous international human rights instruments.
Sorry, could you introduce yourself, please?
Institute for Human Rights. The right to freedom of movement is a fundamental human right enshrined in numerous international human rights instruments. In Azerbaijan, however, this right has been severely restricted. The government imposes travel bans on activists and critical voices. This tactic is often used as a tool of intimidation and pressure against civil society, preventing those who speak out from leaving the country. Closed land borders and expensive air tickets further exacerbate this isolation, effectively cutting off access to the outside world. This combination of travel restrictions creates an environment where dissenting voices are not only silenced domestically but also prevented from sharing their experience internationally, thus reinforcing the government's grip on civil society and suppressing any efforts to hold it accountable on the global stage. As a result, many are forced into self-censorship, fearing that any criticism of the government will lead to further repression or imprisonment. We reiterate our call to OSCE member states to stand in solidarity and extend cooperation to human rights defenders and activists fleeing from Azerbaijan and seeking refuge and protection. The case of Azerbaijani journalist Afgan Sadikhov, who has applied for asylum in Georgia, highlights the critical need for enhanced international collaboration. Another alarming case is of Avtandil Mammadov, a human rights defender who was refused in refugee status after 7 years of consideration, is in danger of being deported back to Azerbaijan because of the outdated document. He cannot travel to other countries. We urge the Georgian authorities to prevent their deportation and ensure safety for their families in accordance with international human rights obligations. Moreover, we would like to highlight that activists remain under constant surveillance even on foreign soil. The case of Azerbaijani journalist Afgan Mukhtarli, who was kidnapped in Tbilisi and forcibly returned to Azerbaijan, highlights the grave risks that activists face even beyond the country's borders. Thus, we urge the Azerbaijani government to immediately lift restrictions on freedom of movement and cease its ongoing crackdown on civil society. The government must respect its obligations under international law to protect fundamental rights and freedoms, including the right to freedom of movement. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees.